Hi everyone, this is Sky coming on briefly to talk to you about the transit of Mars in Taurus happening from July 5th until August 20th, 2022. I wanted to come on and talk about this transit because it's really a great opportune transit for getting some things in order, as we will be having Mars retrograde in Gemini throughout pretty much the rest of 2022. So we have still a completely direct Mars, and being that we have so much energetic traction happening in the signs of Aries and Taurus, I wanted to come on and talk just about Mars, and then I will also be filming a video about the Uranus-Mars North Node conjunction separately as well. But I'm going to really focus on Mars here because it has kind of its own journey through Taurus before it gets up to those really, really incredible triple conjunction happening later. So, we are really operating in a different kind of reality, and I will talk about this more in the Uranus North Node Mars conjunction in Taurus video. But this transition from Mars in Aries to Mars in Taurus brings us into a very different kind of focus and into a very different kind of physics. Okay, there are many things happening globally right now that are altering certain physical dimensions. Okay, we have certain many things that are leading to a very grandiose paradigm shift that has already happened, I believe, at the end of June. But we will actually enter into a 3 or 4 year period now where the physics will really change up quite a bit. And this particular Mars transit from July 5th until August 20th is going to sort of show us exactly how we can project or present within this greater time of shifts and changes, as I think that the next 3 or 4 year cycle is going to be highly connected, just to like a constantly fluid, constantly shifting, constantly kind of different lens or focal point in a more swift way than it's been recently. So when we had 2020 with the triple Capricorn conjunction, it kind of implemented a more status safe, one way to do things, one version, one way forward. And now we're starting to see a lot of alternative paths, and we're starting to see a lot of contingency energy coming up. So the main thing that I feel that this transit of Mars in Taurus is doing is it's detailing a certain progression or motivating a certain progression within comfort and within image as well. Image really comes up during this time, not just how we look, not just, the way that we're styled or the way that we're presenting. It is that, but it's also the greater picture outside of us that we are involved in. So if you can think of like a 2D painting, right? Like Taurus is the second sign. It's one of the 2D oriented signs. If you think of a painting with like multiple people in it and like maybe a beautiful landscape and a lot of different things going on, what is the image of the entire painting? What is the alchemy of everything at once? It's really important here in July that we kind of have a greater understanding of what does all of this combining create? So what do all of these pursuits, motivations, comfort zones, love relationships, family relationships, friendships, whatever, what does all of it mixed together mean? Mars and Taurus to me indicates that we start to really get a nicer image by our own conscious efforts. So this really does look like a cleaning up time as this is happening during Cancer season, and we will have it for the entirety of Leo season, though Mars is moving pretty quickly as it's preparing to retrograde later this year. So we have this Cancer and Leo season, and this really connects back to the 2022 year ahead forecast video that I did back in December, where I felt that there was a very distinct time period in July and August, just in itself, just those 2 months. I also talked about this in the Year of the Tiger video. And it feels like a complete phase of reorientation. So Mars, as I said, is our motivation in life. It's what we try to do with our own effort. It's what we strive for. It's what we reach for. And when it's in Venus's sign, this can be a new relationship for some people. This can be a new love relationship, absolutely, because it's Venus and Mars. So if you've been single for a long time, Mars and Taurus can motivate people to date again or to just meet someone very wonderful, okay? So that's definitely possible. But for those of us really trying to get deeper than that or trying to engage in a greater quantum discovery, what I think this transit of Mars and Taurus will do is it will have us kind of looking at like what matches and what doesn't match. So the eccentricity factor, the unconventional factor, the innovative factor that we're so compelled towards with the Aquarian energy that we've been really partaking in lately, that might take on a different form now. Some of us might be kind of actually wanting more tradition. Some of us might be wanting a more, I don't know, conventional image. And we might be wanting to take comfort in some form of security rather than being so on the edge of things. So to me, this Mars and Taurus does look like a coming back to center for some people, with the option to reproject or to project differently, or to actually, with our own effort, start to choose what our image projection and expression will be. So as this moves up and conjoins Uranus in the North Node, you know, it's going to really change the game, okay, on like the world stage globally, and then more micro as well. It's going to be like replacements as well. I see this energy as a very replacement-oriented energy, so people being replaced, people also like replacing services. So once I used this like phone provider and now I'm switched over to this one. Or once I went to this counselor, now I go to this one. Or once I was married to this person, now I'm married to that person. Once I was engaged to this person, now I'm engaged to this person. This is going to be sort of the energy for the Mars-Uranus North Node, and we'll detail that more in a video of its own. But as this builds up over the next few weeks, it's important to think about ethics, integrity, and the greater moral, the greater lesson, the greater projection of our current involvements. If I'm like switching, I don't know, providers right now, if I'm switching spouses right now, if I'm switching locations right now, is that going to be a meaningful image for me, or am I going to be switching again in another 3 months? We want to make sure there's not too much squirming here, because that is an indication of the Uranus-Mars North Node, and squirming to the degree that people can actually like really break things off or create a larger energy of accidents or chaos just because of the switching and the squirming around and the really fast movements. It's kind of a convulsing energy that we're going to be in with the Uranus-Mars North Node transit. And this period of time with Mars in Taurus as it applies will decide what that's like, okay? And we'll decide how this channels. So positive ways that we can channel Mars and Taurus leading up to this Uranus North Node configuration. We can know what has been a classical success for us always, okay? We can know what hairstyle has always worked for us, okay? We can know what type of industry has always worked for us. We can know what habits, addictions, or negative cycles have always been a problem, have always threatened us, have always caused disarray, chaos, or problems. And basically, this transit of Mars through Taurus looks like a greater series of identification. So identifying what is a source of chaos and what is a source of order, essentially. What is a source of unconventionality, what is a source of conventionality, and how these things basically eventually come closer together to form a greater, more moderate, perhaps, or more safe, yet fun and enjoyable alchemy. So this really is the challenge right now during this general time, is how can I place the pieces of my life or the elements of my life in a series or in a configuration or formation that leads to the greatest physical alchemy in my life and the greatest outcome. Because here's the problem right now, and this is very evocative of Uranus, North Node, and Mars. People are trying to push certain things to be what they're not, okay? I made examples in previous videos about how people might be really entrepreneurial, or people might be really ambitious under these configurations we're having right now. And they might also be placed in really good places. Like imagine like being a museum curator or owning a crystal shop. However, those two industries have major glass ceilings, and they are always going to be a certain level of safety and security, but they're never going to be billion-dollar pursuits. Okay, so basically what this energy convinces people of, and this is a huge negative, is that these things which have a very clear boundary of what they can ever be, attempting to be pushed into $1 billion zone. Imagine starting like a crystal shop and be like, I'm going to make $1 billion from that. Imagine starting to curate a museum and thinking, this is going to be what makes me money. Okay, we have these kind of like what do I want to call it, debasing of true legacy value into like a monetary want, okay, that we have to really be careful of now. And we have to really understand with Mars in the fixed sign of Taurus what things ever can be. And once we start to really accept what things ever really can be, what this does is this gives us a greater opportunity to understand whether that's what's right for us or not. And as we understand that, we can actually start to understand, okay, so I understand that this can never be that, but that can be that. Okay, so we have this sort of like remapping or sort of semi-paradigm shift here of like what certain pieces, energy sources, or placements in our life are or ever can be. The potential of something here changes. The opportunity cost of something here also changes. And we really need to go with that flow, you all. Okay, it's imperative that we go with that flow and we don't try to force it to be something it's not. Like, I don't care if my crystal shop is only making, $17,000 a year. It's going to be $1 billion business someday. This becomes a neurosis, okay? And then once we understand what it is, we can like really gladly accept this wonderful crystal shop and delegate that to someone else. And then, yes, we can go and start, I don't know, a Fortune 500 company or something if we want that $1 billion lifestyle, although that is going to be not that meaningful for most people anyway. Again, these are examples. These are very extreme hyperbolic examples to illustrate what the energy is doing right now. Basically, be wary of like being a gold digger during this time. Be wary of like mining for gold where there's only iron, okay? I think that a lot of people are doing that. They're digging up so much iron, they're like, eventually we're gonna find gold here. Or like, eventually we're gonna strike oil, but it's only like wonderful spring water. And it's like iron and spring water are both very valuable resources, but we want gold, we want oil. And it's like, this to me is the Uranus North Node Mars configuration energy. And as Mars applies up to it, we have a chance to better orient ourselves with the reality of what things can be and what they ever could be. And with that, to me, looks like a lot of peace and acceptance and need for peace and acceptance. Because one of the most uncomfortable places to be is to be trying to dig for something that just isn't there. It puts people in very desperate positions. And I think as long as we're not trying to cultivate something that doesn't exist, we'll do fine with these transits. But also, if we can't accept what something is, we stand just to have maybe like a big mess to clean up. I don't know, a lot of iron to sort through, a lot of like, I don't know, just digging that has been done that was very disruptive to like the environment or something, and perhaps even like that having an impact on the reputation of the person who dug. And it is very much about image, not just from reputation, but from, what is the greater image of that? That desire to strike gold as we like dig everything up, and as we, find a lot of other things that we haven't deemed valuable and just kind of dispose of them. What is the greater image of that seeking and that very North Node, very Rahu, very insatiable energy? It's maybe not as nice of an image as, I don't know, more simple, humble things that could bring really beautiful results and really wonderful stories. Okay, so we have to really also ask ourselves with Mars and Taurus transiting right now, and the main reason I'm making a video about this Mars sign is because it precedes the big retrograde of Mars later this year. So we have to really get clear on our Mars energy, what we're striving for, what we're digging for, what we're, with our own hands, choosing to change, alter, and pursue. Okay, that stuff has to be really spot on once it goes retrograde in Gemini later this year. And here is a chance, with it being direct through Taurus over this about month and a half, to really show the universe and to show other people around us too that we are pursuing the right things and we are moving to meaningful, wholesome territory. A lot of it's going to have to do with love and relationships. Taurus is a sign of love and relationships. Taurus is a sign of stability, security, and in a way, more skin level stuff. It's not the deepest energy. It's not really about getting way deep into something, like way down to the deep layers of the earth and finding that resource, or knowing somebody so well that you like know them, you know, deeper than you have to. Like, this is more about like a skin level enjoyment of camaraderie, of friendship, of laughter, humor, and greater human relationships. Okay. And I think that by being there, we will do better and be better prepared for the Mars retrogrades later this year. And finally, as a kind of, you know, more down-to-earth message, like, just kind of watch yourself as you're moving through your daily actions. There are accident indications right now, so make sure you're really present in what you're doing. Make sure you're paying attention, you know, as you're like driving or operating heavy machinery. We are moving up to a Mars-Uranus conjunction, which is the most intense accident indication in astrology. So it's important that we maybe don't take on unnecessary risks right now, or we don't take really volatile or hasty action that has major ripples on anything. You know, we want to pay attention to what we're doing. We want to pay attention to physics, okay? We want to pay attention to reality here and to Earth, right? It's Mars in the Earth sign of Taurus, so it can kind of, it doesn't really like to be in any Earth sign. Taurus is not that bad for it, but it loves Capricorn, but Taurus and Virgo are not the most wonderful expressions of Mars because it is like burning Earth. It's like fire and Earth energy. It's not great. And also just keep an eye on sort of like obsessive tangents, you know, compulsivity, trying to do things that you think will yield a huge result but do nothing. Okay, and then we have a lot of time wasted, or we have a lot of energy plowed into something that is not going to ever come back. Okay, that is the main thing about the Uranus-Mars North Node transit, is there could just be a lot of energy put into something that, you know, just will never be more than that, which is not a bad thing, but only is it bad if our expectations were for it to yield something it couldn't yield. And again, the greater giving of this transit is going to be a greater possibility for peace, a greater possibility for beauty. Okay, Mars and Taurus, it's a wonderful time for getting healthier, for diets, for, working with the appearance, working with the image is actually a really good way to channel this energy. New styles, new fashions, new, making your own choices about how you are beautiful or how you appear is a great way to channel this. And it should give a lot of energy for self-actualization and for self-empowerment. Taurus is also a sign of the self. So we might be really motivated to kick a certain habit, or motivated also to just have more energy or to have more prosperity by cutting back, or by, taking it easier in certain ways and not being so crazy about things, or not being so ambitious, or not being so volatile as well. So anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to conclude this one. This was just a nice little impromptu chat about the transit of Mars and Taurus from July 5th until August 20th of 2022. Be sure to check out my 2022 year ahead forecast video below, and I am doing live premieres every Friday this summer at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Also subscribe to this YouTube channel if you get the chance, and like the video. It really helps. I also have a mailing list below and a Patreon page. So if you enjoyed the video, check out the description box. All of the links are below. And happy Mars in Taurus. It's a really wonderful changing time. Much love. Bye.